Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Atlanta, Falcons fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If there's one thing we've learned over the past few weeks, it's that the Atlanta Falcons are still very much in the mix this offseason, and there are some intriguing developments that could shape their trajectory for the upcoming season. As fans, we all know how critical the offseason is for building a team that can compete at the highest level, especially in a division as competitive as the NFC South. But one area that has been a point of discussion among analysts and fans alike is the cornerback position. It's an area where the Falcons have shown some promise, but also some room for improvement, especially after last year's struggles in pass defense. So let's start by addressing the big news that just broke. Jaire Alexander, the two-time second-team All-Pro cornerback, will not be donning the Falcons' colors anytime soon. Yes, it's a bit disappointing for those of us hoping that Atlanta might make a splash and bring in a top-tier talent like Alexander. Instead, Alexander signed a deal with the Baltimore Ravens this past Wednesday, a one-year contract worth $4 million. That's a solid deal for a player of his caliber, especially considering his reputation as one of the more shut-down corners in the league. But what does this mean for the Falcons? Well, it means they missed out on a player who could have been a cornerstone in their secondary, a true game-changer. Now, I know some fans might feel a bit let down because Alexander was seen as a dream target, someone who could instantly elevate the defense. But it's important to understand that there are still other options out there, other players who could fit the Falcons, needs both in talent and in salary cap considerations. And here's where things get interesting. There's been a lot of talk about Rasul Douglas, a veteran cornerback who has been generating buzz as a potential target for Atlanta. Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report recently argued that the Falcons should seriously consider bringing Douglas into the fold, especially if they can get him at a bargain. Why Douglas, you might ask? Well, for starters, the Falcons have only about $3 million of cap space available, which limits their options when it comes to big-name signings. But Douglas, with his experience and production, could be a perfect fit without breaking the bank. Last season, Douglas played 15 games with the Buffalo Bills, starting all of them. He recorded 58 combined tackles, which is quite solid, along with 5 tackles for loss, 5 pass defenses, and even a forced fumble. That kind of production is exactly what Atlanta needs to shore up their secondary, which, let's be honest, struggled quite a bit last year. The interesting part about Douglas is his NFL journey. Drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles at pick number 99 in the third round of the 2017 NFL Draft, he made an immediate impact by helping the Eagles win the Super Bowl as a rookie, a pretty remarkable feat right out of the gate. Over the years, he's also played for the Carolina Panthers, the Green Bay Packers, and most recently, the Bills. His experience is vast, and that's a huge plus for a team like Atlanta, which could use some veteran leadership in their secondary. It's not just about the stats, but also about the intangibles. His knowledge of multiple defensive schemes, his ability to adapt, and his leadership qualities. Now, let's talk about why the Falcons might be hesitant to go all in on a player like Douglas, or why they didn't pursue Jaire Alexander more aggressively. Money, of course, plays a role. Alexander's deal with the Ravens was a one-year, $4 million contract, which in theory could have fit under Atlanta's salary cap. But the Falcons are cautious. They prefer to keep some flexibility in case injuries or unforeseen circumstances arise during the season, especially with veteran players who might need to be signed on short notice. The Falcons' management has historically been prudent about cap space, aiming to keep some room for those just-in-case signings. And that's precisely why Douglas might be an attractive target. He's experienced, reliable, and likely more affordable than some of the bigger-name free agents still available. The Falcons haven't made any significant upgrades at outside cornerback this offseason, and that's a notable point. They're set to start the same duo as last year, A.J. Terrell and Mike Hughes. Now Terrell, as we know, is a rising star, a true lockdown corner when healthy. But Hughes has been more of a fill-in, and last year's pass defense, ranked 22nd overall, shows that there's room for improvement. Only the Carolina Panthers allowed more passing touchdowns than Atlanta last season, which is a clear sign that the secondary needs reinforcements. Adding a veteran like Douglas could be precisely what the Falcons need to solidify that secondary and reduce the big plays that hurt them last year. It's about creating a more balanced defense, one that can pressure quarterbacks, cover receivers, and prevent those costly touchdowns. The secondary is often the difference maker, especially in close games, and with Douglas's experience, he could be a key piece in that puzzle. And let's not forget about the draft. The Falcons did add 2 defensive backs, Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman Jr. In the 2025 NFL Draft, Watts is expected to play safety, while Bowman and undrafted free agent Kobe Bryant are projected to operate in the slot. But as many analysts suggest, draft picks alone aren't always enough to address immediate needs, especially in a division that's getting more competitive every year. That's why free agency still matters, and veteran additions like Douglas could give the team that extra edge, that veteran presence that guides younger players and stabilizes the overall defense. In terms of team strategy, the Falcons are in a bit of a transitional phase. They want to build around their young core, especially on offense with quarterback Desmond Ridder, who showed flashes last year, and their emerging receivers. But defense wins championships, and a secondary that can compete with the best in the league is essential. So bringing in a player like Douglas makes a lot of sense, especially considering his familiarity with the game and his ability to perform in high-pressure situations. Now, some fans might wonder about the broader picture, what this means for the Falcons' chances in 2024 and beyond. Well, it's clear that the team recognizes the need to bolster their defense, particularly in the secondary, to elevate their status within the NFC South. The division is quite competitive. You have the Saints, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers all making moves to improve their rosters. So for Atlanta, it's about staying aggressive, making smart signings, and building a defense that can hold up against the best defenses in the league. Remember, the Falcons have a talented core, and last year's struggles in pass defense were a major reason why they fell short of the playoffs. Improving that aspect of their game could be the key difference maker in their quest to return to the postseason and push further once they get there. The addition of a seasoned veteran like Douglas could be the catalyst that pushes their secondary from average to elite. And of course, it's not just about one player. It's about the entire defensive scheme, coaching staff, and how well the team gels together in the upcoming season. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the Falcons should pursue more veteran help in the secondary? Are you excited about the potential signing of Douglas? Or do you believe the team should focus more on developing their young players and building through the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. We're all in this together, dreaming of another Super Bowl run, and every piece of the puzzle counts. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news about the Falcons. So stay tuned, keep that passion alive, and let's keep supporting our team through every twist and turn of this offseason. We've seen how unpredictable the NFL can be, but one thing is for sure, the Atlanta Falcons are determined to come back stronger. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Falcons.